Enjoy the silence. I'm allowed to speak, but I can't say things. The plans are met, the trap is set, and we can't change. We can't change. We can't change. VonAllen.
VonAllen Sports.
Enjoy the silence.
This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching VonAllen Sports. Real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports.
VonAllen.
VonAllen Sports.
VonAllen.
Okay, what is up, you guys? Give me just a second here. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, today's gone by really quickly. Actually, I could do without those for right now. Okay, just one moment, guys. Okay, guys. So let me pop this up real quick. Cool. So, Milena is back, you guys. She'll be on audio, so she'll be able to talk and you can hear her and stuff. It won't be on camera tonight, but will be in the future. So, let's see who's all here. Milena, go ahead and talk. Say hello. Say.
Yeah, hi guys, can you hear me? Let me test that microphone. Can you hear me, Æron? Okay. So, how you guys doing? It's been a while. Been away for 2 months, actually. I don't know if Æron's mentioned anything, but I'm back. Everything's good. And ready to roll. So let's see who's here. I saw a lot of you guys already. Elf of Courage. So what time is it where you're at? I know you mentioned you have to go to sleep. I think you said you wanted to go to bed, or you have something to do, but you will be here until 9 p.m. What is it, Central Time? What's up, Jalen? I can see your messages here.
Okay. And okay, so yeah, I corrected the Elf of Courage. So Elf of Courage upgraded from $10 a month to $20 a month. So he's now got five entries into the tournament. Also, and Anthony Preston, thank you for your wishing me a happy birthday. That I don't even know how you knew that because I didn't really mention it.
Yeah.
But that's badass that you knew that. I don't even know how you knew that. But thank you, I appreciate it. I thought I saw something here from Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Luke joined. So Luke needs a wrench. I'm going to give him his wrench right now. So
I'm going to post the membership link for Patreon.
yeah, it's patreon.com/VonAllen.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll just post that as well over here.
Luke R.
Yeah, so you guys know there are
Okay.
different levels of membership. It starts at $5 a month, and then you get one entry to the quarterback contest. The next level you get 3 entries, 5 entries, and so forth. But follow the link if you haven't joined yet. That would be fun to play that. I haven't joined either yet, which
Hey, what the hell? What the hell?
I would have to join as well at one of these levels.
You can't be sitting here telling people and
Yeah, I know.
and you're not even a member yourself. That's some
Well,
bullshit.
I just came back, so.
Oh, that's your
everything's-
excuse?
That's my excuse, yeah. But I'm definitely joining.
Okay, so remember, guys, I just want to remind you, if you have a wrench next to your name, that means you're a Patreon member. It means that whenever you send me a message in the chat, I treat it as a super chat. But you have to do @VonAllen, because I can't just post every little thing that you might say to somebody in the chat. So, but so if it's super chat worthy, like something you're wanting to tell me, make sure you put @VonAllen, so I'll know. So I'll know, and Milena will know to tell me in case I miss it. Okay? Or you can send me a message on Patreon, which is takes me a little longer to do that because I've got to screenshot it. So speaking of that, we have a super chat from Elf of Courage. This is off of Patreon. Elf of Courage says, they say that Hard Rock Stadium in Miami is haunted by the ghost of the Dolphins. Legend has it that they are still scoring touchdowns on the Broncos to this very day. Yes, and like you commented the other day, which I thought was timely and pretty funny. You said the Dolphins just scored again. I thought that was, I mean, it's a joke that was used, but it's so true. Milena, I don't think you know this, but the Miami Dolphins beat the Denver Broncos Sunday 70-20.
Oh my God, I heard that. I didn't watch the game, but I mean, wow. The Dolphins. What in the world?
Oh, so see, some of my guys listen to me. That's some are good listeners here. So that's how Anthony Preston knew that it was my birthday. Because I was talking about how all the best birthdays are at the end of September or something like that. So,
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
yeah, August is stupid.
August.
Yeah, September's better.
August is the best.
Anthony Preston says the super chat. He says, Patreon super chat. He says, I remember you said that the best birthdays are at the end of September. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. So,
Good memory.
and interestingly enough, Luke actually never. Luke has been a Patreon member for a long time. I didn't even realize it until just today. I thought everybody had left. I didn't even know. So thank you, Luke. I appreciate you doing that. That's really cool. So, okay. So like I said, if you want your wrench, go ahead and go there and join. Thank you, Jalen. I appreciate it, man. Israel, definitely. I will be covering that first here. So I'm just trying to catch up here, and $20 is it? Yeah. Jalen, I always spell your name wrong too. I always put a Y. Kevin's in Vegas getting drunk. I can barely type. Nice. No. The tournament's not going to start till next week because some of you guys have taken your sweet ass time trying to join. So we need more people in the tournament to call it a tournament, and we just don't have that many. So the lowest tier is $5. $5 to get into the tournament to win an awesome prize. I mean, you spend more than that on fucking Starbucks. Okay.
Sorry.
Bitcoin, what's up, man? John, Ryan's here. Ry Davis, what's up, man? Nightwalker, all the way from Deutschland. Austin, what's up? Okay, so like Israel said, we're gonna actually talk about history for a second, recent history, which is the Dolphins and Broncos. So over the years that I've seen teams that you see that they quit. You see that they quit at the end of the game. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what I would do exactly, but if I was Sean Payton, every single member of that defense has to be punished somehow. I don't know what you do. I don't know what's allowed within the confines of the collective bargaining agreement. And see, that's the problem with the CBA and what I've been telling you guys, is that we live in a powder puff era now, to where the CBA keeps you from practicing and keeps the coaches from, making them put on pads more than they should and all this stuff. I mean, it's really, really weak, really weak stuff. So I don't know how you'd push them unless you just run them a lot. But they absolutely have to be punished somehow. They have to be. That was pathetic. Like I made a short. I don't know if you guys saw it. I uploaded a short after that game, and I said, "Can you fire an entire defense?" And I don't know. I mean, can you? So it's one of the most pathetic things I've ever seen. Props to the Dolphins for not taking their foot off the gas. Now they did trade out their players, as some of their starters at some point towards the end, but that wasn't to show mercy. That was really just preservation. There's no point in getting too lit up out there, especially with all the concussions and head problems he's had. So they brought in new guys, but they were still running their offense. They were still trying to score. They were still going for it. The sad thing is that Denver actually looked okay in the first half, the offense. So Russell, and there was some good throws by Russell. There were some good plays, and they were moving the ball pretty well. And then it was just gone. The game was over. But so it was doubly. See, a lot of times when you've got a team like Denver that's just getting scored on, by the time a team gets to like 50, they just start running the ball. They don't even do anything anymore. The Dolphins just kept playing, and that is what I like. This is professional football. There is no such thing as running up the score and all this, and complaining about that or whatever. No, this is pro football. This isn't high school. Okay, you're getting paid out there. You're all professionals. You're all millionaires. Run that score up. Run it up. Run it up to 150. I don't give a shit. Okay, run it up all day long. So it's shameful, absolutely shameful. So you've got two things colliding at the same time. You've got Denver, who's just having the worst game of their life, and you've got Miami willing to run the score up, willing to not take the foot off the pedal. And that's a perfect storm. The reason we don't get 70 very often is because the team scoring high always pulls back. They always do that. And the Dolphins said, no. They leaned over and whispered, no. The last time we saw stuff like this was 2007. And then everyone whined, remember? Oh, the Patriots are running up the score. Oh, my God. Bitcoin watching college football. So Bitcoin, I think I'm going to change my pick though. I made a pick, but I think I'm going to change it. Luke sends a Patreon super chat. He says, has Sean Payton already lost the locker room? His reputation is tanked since he publicly criticized the previous Broncos administration. Yeah, he probably shouldn't have criticized them until he had some games behind him and some wins. And then if you want to kind of reference back, but he got a bit ahead of himself. And he's an offensive coach, and we've seen so many times that offensive coaches, they don't run the defense as well, and there's always usually lacking. There's for whatever reason, it's you barely get those offensive guys like Bill Walsh who has a great defense. So it's usually the case, but. I don't know if that's what the problem is, but clearly the problem in Denver was more than just what's his face? Hackett? Yeah. He wasn't the only problem, apparently. So if you guys remember last year, we were talking about Russell Wilson and how he's just not He's not being the guy that he used to be. And a lot of that was not just on the field, but I think the on-the-field performance was a result of how he was acting in his personal life, acting like he's so great and this rock star and all this stuff, instead of just being an NFL quarterback. Now, there's an interview recently that Tom did with Patrick Bet-David, and I filmed myself watching it. So, and then I give my analysis, every once in a while when I have something to say, and I'm about to release that. I'm just editing it right now because it's very long. I've got to get it cut down. But Tom said that he didn't give a shit about any of that stuff. Okay, so he didn't care about being a celebrity and all those things, and to a certain degree, he tried to avoid those things. Especially before he met Gisele Bündchen. When he met Gisele, there's no way to not be in the spotlight because you're married to her, okay? And that's her job. Her job is to go to those things and to be a part of those things. So, that's just kind of the deal there. But he tried to hide it. If you guys remember, you really didn't see much from Tom publicly, during the season especially. So you would see him at those galas and stuff in the off season, but it was not really something that he tried to embrace. But Russell's different. Russell is trying to become part of Ciara. Is that her name? Ciara? Yeah. But trying to become part of her life, and she's not becoming part of his, and that's just not a good mix, and it just doesn't work. So it's affecting him on the field, and I think that's a big problem. Now he definitely, I can see that there's something better under Peyton though. I think it's going to get better. I think Russell will get better here, but he's really got to change his outlook on things and how he does the stuff, because how you act personally and how your daily routine is and what you do in life will affect your job performance. It just will. It's how it is. And also, if you're always going to these galas and stuff during the season, showing up with Ciara everywhere, and your teammates see that, they think, oh, you think you're hot shit. And then when you come into the locker room and you try to be a leader and you try to talk to people and talk them up, or maybe even yell at them when they need it, it seems disingenuous. It comes across as like very phony and like, dude, you have nothing to tell me. A Tuesday night you were at the Oscars or some shit. It's like, screw you. I'm not going to listen to you. Whatever. So that's a problem. One thing you'll notice about Brady is that he's never had a teammate that has spoken bad about him, except for one person. That was Antonio Brown. But we know that Antonio Brown is a nut job. So, but other than that, it's been, everybody's spoken good about him. Even people who didn't like him before they became a teammate of his, and then they come out and say, like James Harrison was like, man, I was so wrong about Tom Brady. He's amazing. So, by the way, if you guys see in the bottom corner, let's see, right there, the little ads running through, and every once in a while you're going to see a silhouette of different players. Those are real players. Those are not like generic. I did that. So I took pictures of real players, real famous. They're all Hall of Famers or future Hall of Famers. Like the one in the logo is Tom, obviously, and nobody can mistake that throwing form. But these are all silhouettes of famous players, and so you can try to guess which ones are which or whatever if you want. So. But yeah, Luke, I think that really hurt Sean, and he put himself in a bad position. They've got to start winning games, and so. But I do see an improvement for Russell. There is something there. They've just got to get it all locked in. So. Elf of Courage sends a Patreon super chat. He says, Belichick allows 24 against the Dolphins. Sean Payton allows 70. It's embarrassing. It's beyond embarrassing. It's honestly, if the head coach in Denver, if it wasn't Sean Payton, and if it was a first year guy, he might have been fired for this. That's how bad it is. So. Oh, except for 07. Yes, exactly. Ace, Kirk Cousins is a strange thing to me. Like he plays just good enough to get paid and just good enough to where your team can like be okay, but he's just never going to get you anywhere. He just doesn't have it. It's just good enough, but he just doesn't have it. He seems like a perfectly nice guy, good dude. I mean, I have nothing against him, but he's missing something there. So, Elf of Courage is going to be at the game Sunday, just to let y'all know. He's going to be at the Dallas New England game, which I wish I was there for that. That'd be a really good one. Sierra Chubbs, what's up? Israel says Russell Wilson's nice guy persona is kind of fake, and Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch said that in order to reach him, Richard Sherman and Marshawn Lynch said that in order to get a hold of him, they'd have to call his agent instead and couldn't contact him directly. See, that's terrible. That's absolutely terrible leadership. You can't be a quarterback in the NFL and expect to get somewhere like that. Not to mention that he had his own personal office and desk last year in Denver. Yes, I remember that. How lame is that? Like, what happened to this guy? I gave him a good draft grade. He's probably one of my best picks I've ever had. I went far on that. I actually picked Russell Wilson to be better than Andrew Luck and RG3 in that draft. I thought Andrew Luck would be okay. He'd be a good quarterback, but I actually thought Russell Wilson looked the best, and he seemed to just personality-wise and everything, and he had it. And then when he was actually done pretty well with the Seahawks, I was like, wow, man, I did pretty good with that pick, But what's happened now is just so sad. It's really bad. But speaking of Andrew Luck, man, he did something great. So are you guys familiar with, during Andrew Luck's career, there was a Twitter account called Captain Andrew Luck, and it's a parody account of Andrew Luck, but it's him as a Civil War soldier. And so anytime something happened with the Colts week to week, this account would post as if Andrew's talking as a Civil War character, talking about, but use Civil War terms and stuff, and refer to the opposition as in that way. It's very, very funny, really good. And I guess it started because Andrew Luck looks like he lives in the 1860s, right? With his nappy facial hair and all that stuff. He just looks like he's from the past. Well, the other night, it was the week before last. Not last night's Thursday night game, but the week before. He showed up at the game dressed as the Civil War guy, dressed as Captain Andrew Luck. The real Andrew Luck did that. That is, I love that. That was so awesome that he did that. I don't know if you guys saw it, but if you didn't, look it up on YouTube. You'll like it. What's up, Patriot King? Haven't seen you in around in a while, man. Wait a second. Elpa Courage. Elpa Courage. Elpa Courage sends a Patreon super chat. He says, "What color uniform did Luck wear?" He wore the Union. He was dressed as a Union soldier. The Union blue. So, I see, Patriot King, you talk about loyalty and stuff, but here's something that I've kind of had an epiphany on. We have as fans, we have a fan loyalty, right? But where's the loyalty to the fans? Okay, where's that loyalty? Where was that loyalty when Robert Kraft used to say that Tom Brady's never leaving, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep him here. And then that changed. So he submitted to Belichick, and Belichick did all it required to keep Tom was Tom getting more say in how things are ran and how things are done on the offense. That's what Tom was looking for, and that's why he left. So why wasn't that done? Like, where's the loyalty to the fan base? You cannot let Tom motherfucking Brady retire in a different uniform, and you can't ever let him be seen in another uniform. He's a Patriot. You can't. No, you got to let him be like Elway and Marino, only one uniform, and you just can't let it end like that. I don't care what you think. I don't care about the future. Okay? Remember, we had this discussion about the future. Well, what was the future? The future was shit. The future was Cam Newton, although I do miss dressing up like Cam Newton. But the future was Cam Newton, and now a Mac Jones that we're still waiting to get some value out of, a first-round value out of, and that may never come. Okay? So what was all this bullshit about future? Okay? I'm so sick of hearing that. I don't care about the future as much as I care about now. I want to win now. All right? So in 2020, I wanted to win then. I didn't want to win 2025. I didn't care about some potential quarterback that may or may not blossom into something. Okay? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Okay? And that is what it matters. That's what matters to me. And there was no fan loyalty. There was no loyalty to us. There was no loyalty to the fan base in that sense. Okay? This isn't a typical quarterback moving on from a different quarterback. This is Tom Brady. This is different. Okay? The Colts did the same thing. The Colts did the same thing to Peyton Manning. Oh, the future. They were like, oh, look at this sexy new guy. You guys know that meme where the guy's walking with his girlfriend and he sees a hot girl walking by and he turns around. He's like, ooh, and she's looking at him like pissed off. Yeah, well, that was the Colts and Peyton Manning. So the Colts are looking at the girl walking by, which is Andrew Luck. The future. The future. Oh, Peyton doesn't have much time left. Oh, really? This is Peyton after he left the Colts. MVP, set the record for most touchdowns in a season. Set the record for most points by a team in a season in 2013. Went to the Super Bowl. 2015, they go and they win a Super Bowl. Some could argue Peyton Manning was the best version of himself the first few years in Denver. That's what you traded for Andrew Luck. And it has nothing to do, it's not a knock at Andrew Luck, but no. When you've got a sure thing, a guarantee. Peyton is here now. Peyton is your quarterback. He is a guarantee. He's a sure thing that you know he's a winner. You know he can help you. You know he's good. You don't know about Andrew Luck. You don't know. You can say, oh, he's the greatest prospect since John Elway and all this other stuff, okay? A bunch of dorks in a room. He's like, he's the greatest prospect. Okay, whatever. You don't know that. There is no guarantee. Now, was Andrew pretty good? Yeah, he was. But look what happened. And obviously it was self-inflicted too. The Colts inflicted that on their own. Had Peyton stayed in the Colts, you know, and Peyton could come to an agreement and get along there would have been a different regime in Indianapolis. So the collapse of the O-line and all that stuff that ended up injuring Andrew Luck, those things wouldn't have taken place. It would have been different. So again, where was the loyalty to the Colts fan base as far as the Colts ownership? Where was that loyalty? Where was the 49ers loyalty to the fan base when they chased Jim Harbaugh out of town? Where was that? I just, you know, it's... When do they give us loyalty? Why is it always us giving them loyalty, but they don't give us loyalty? I'm just wondering, like, what is that? We're the ones that pay their bills. We're the ones that they don't get paid if we don't pay. If I don't buy this shirt, okay? If you guys don't buy the tickets to the stadium, if we don't get cable or buy the Sunday ticket packages, they don't get paid. Nobody makes any money. So shouldn't it be loyalty to us and do what we say? I'm not talking about every little detail. I'm talking about major things. And they let their ego get in the way. How about Jerry Jones firing Jimmy Johnson? Dallas Cowboys, if Jerry Jones would have stayed out of the way in the 90s, Cowboys have 4 Super Bowls. Maybe 5. Maybe 5. Okay? Think about that. Possibly 5 in one decade. Where was Jerry's loyalty to the fan base? Where was his loyalty to the Cowboys? It's always rules for thee, but not for me. Belichick's the same way. Belichick is the same way. Tom Brady takes a pay cut to keep Wes Welker, and he still lets Wes leave. All right? Now, part of that's on Wes. He's a big pussy, but the point is that Tom was expecting something out of that. He gave up something for that. You at least give him a little bit of what he wants. You help him out. Bill's always said, he's always preached, it's what's best for the team. You always got to sacrifice what's best for the team. What the fuck did he sacrifice when he benched Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl? When was he doing what was best for the team? So again, this loyalty thing, I understand, but isn't it about time that they actually start respecting what we want as fans and what we think? And I'm talking about, again, the big things, the things that matter. You don't let Tom get away. You don't let Peyton get away. You don't fire Jim Harbaugh. Okay? And just to go back to Belichick, he benches Malcolm Butler and never tells us why. So we have a right to know. We have a right to know why Tom Brady had one of his best Super Bowl performances he's ever had and goes out there, breaks the record for yards in a Super Bowl, and you're getting lit up on your defense. Your secondary is just getting torched all day long by Nick Foles, and you don't even tell us why? All these years later? You should have told us why then. But all these years later, we don't know. Really? What does it matter now? What does it matter now? Just tell us what happened. Because he doesn't give a shit. Because there's no loyalty. This is a one-sided relationship. Okay? It's going all in one direction and not in the other direction. I don't know. We have a right to know that shit. And you know what? And I blame the media too. The media didn't push. They didn't push him. They're afraid of him. And so he can get away with his, I just did best with the team. I already answered the question. No, you didn't fucking answer the question, Bill. You just keep saying the same shit over and over again. And you don't tell us why. I want to know why our best cornerback, okay, at the time was not on the field, especially after halftime, when all of your starters were getting punked all over the place. I mean, at that moment, I'm not even talking about whether or not Malcolm would have made the difference. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that at that point, they were so bad, they were getting wasted so bad that you have to throw a monkey wrench in there somewhere. You have to change something. I don't care if you take one of those trans cheerleaders off the sidelines and throw them in there on the fucking secondary. Do it. Do something. But when you've got Malcolm Butler in uniform, so you didn't want him playing, but you put his ass in uniform, when he's on the sidelines before the game crying, and all of his teammates are consoling him, that mentally fucked everyone up. What do you think that does to the mentality of the secondary? They're all thinking, why? These guys play together. They play together all year. And you just completely just disregarded it. So just emotionally and mentally, we were already at disadvantage before the damn kickoff even happened. So if you didn't want him to play, that's your first mistake. But your second mistake was dressing him. Okay? I don't know, put the mascot in a uniform for all I care. Just don't dress him. Don't have him out there on the field crying and fucking everybody's head up. At least don't do that if you're going to be stupid enough to not play him. But that's what I'm talking about. Where is the accountability for Bill? Where's his accountability? He's always talking about it. Oh, accountability. You got to be accountable. Blah, blah, blah. I do what's best for the team. T-E-A-M. Team. When your quarterback is breaking records and you still lose, that's on you, buddy. Loyalty. Sorry. I don't know, but just went off on that. Welcome back, Milena. See, you're here, you're back, and now I'm bitching about stuff. So I don't think I've had a rant like this all year.
Yeah, so. I'm glad to inspire.
Yeah, you've inspired me to get pissed off. So good job. I will be honest, though. I do miss the post games during the Cam Newton era. I miss dressing up like Cam. You remember that, Milena? That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a costume party.
Ryan Dyer sends a Patreon super chat. Let me screenshot it here. Ryan sends a Patreon super chat. He says, St. Louis called. They would like their loyalty to their fan base back. Well, they got screwed over because the city of St. Louis, the city of St. Louis got screwed over. And that's why there was a big lawsuit with Stan Kroenke and all that. So, but one could argue they never should have left L.A. to begin with. Look at the Raiders and Oakland, or L.A., at least L.A., one or the other. They shouldn't have left California. So, the bridge needs to be taken down?
Drawbridge.
Okay. All right. You take my spot. I'll be right back, guys. Milena's going to talk to you for just a second.
Okay, guys, he'll be right back. Sorry, I had a mic problem, I think. Can you guys hear me? Hello, Night Walker. Hey, what time is it over there? So glad you're able to make it. I think it's kind of the morning over there. I'm still jet lagging, by the way. Yep, still jet lagging. So, but it's the first show that I'm part of again. Oh, 4 a.m. Wow. And getting excited about the season.
Thank you, Milena, for that riveting conversation. That was some epic commentary. You're definitely out of practice.
Yeah,
Because in the past, when I leave the mic, I usually come back to some epic rant about communism.
oh, I know. I'm just warm.
Yeah, normally you're bitching about communism by the time I come back. So I don't know. You're just out of practice, I think.
Yep.
I put her on the spot there. So.
It's coming soon. Rant.
Yeah. Jalen, sorry, I missed that one. Jalen said, is it running up the score if you put in all the backups? Wouldn't run up the score mean leaving the starters for a whole game? No, because what Miami did is they put in their backups, but they were still throwing the ball. That's running up the score. Like, why are you throwing the ball? Normally, if you're up by that much, you just start running the ball. You just start, and then you punt it, and that's it, you know? Or you go for it on fourth down or whatever. So, you know, Miami was still out there running all their good plays. They were running the same offense. There was like nothing different. So, and good for them. Banjo Spence, absolutely. Thank you for agreeing with me. Austin, yeah. So Austin's talking about Austin says, no, stop VonAllen. Tom leaving was the best for both parties. Tom just cements his legacy as the best ever while the Pats started on a rebuild that was needed desperately. So see, but that's the outcome is not really my point. What the point was is about loyalty to something, and they knew that Tom was the Patriots. They knew that the fan base and Tom were attached, and Bill couldn't get his ego out of it. Rebuild, I don't even know what that word means. What does that mean? Rebuild to me means it could mean sucking forever. Normally, okay, well, with people who use the term rebuild, generally speaking, is they're talking about getting draft picks, you know, and bringing in good players and stuff. What are the Patriots doing? They're just the same team as they were. There's been no movement. There's been no headway made. Not really. Okay, they're still just kind of average, and I don't see any kind of stacking up the team over the few years' time. So I don't see a rebuild in that case. I see what Bill would call a reload, but a bad reloading. Like it's just enough. They're just good enough to win games, but they're not bad enough to get a bunch of picks that have value and you can trade them out and get players for and stuff. So they're in no man's land, and it's a bad position to be in, I guess, right now. So I wouldn't call it a rebuild that much. So, but yeah, Tom going to Tampa Bay and doing what he did, that's fantastic and stuff. But I think he could have won a 7th Super Bowl in New England had Bill done what Tom wanted. So had Bill listened to Tom, and Tom, you know, and everything was like Tom was trying to do. Like you saw what Tom did. He brought back Gronkowski. He brought Leonard Fournette. He brought in Antonio Brown. Okay, and he did all those things. And those 3 guys, happened to be the ones that had touchdowns in the Super Bowl. That Tom brought that to Tampa Bay. Had he had some of that power in New England, like he was asking for, he would have brought those guys in. So, if you remember, Antonio Brown, they got rid of him after just a week. Kraft did that, and what we found out was Kraft was actually trying to cover his own ass because he was in trouble with the massage parlor crap. So, again, it's the same stuff. So. But I would have much preferred Tom staying in New England and then them winning again, and trying again, like going for more players and all that. So they could have done it. You could have made it happen in some way. So it wouldn't have happened that year. Maybe 2020 wasn't the year that it could have happened. But by now they've I think 2021 they probably could have won if they had those 2 years in a row to kind of get things going. So, and the trajectory might have been different too, by the way. So, it's all just speculation. But the point is that where was the loyalty to the fan base, and that's the point of it. So. Good night, Alpha Courage. Biops asked, why did the O-line collapse? Peyton consistently was one of the least sacked quarterbacks every year. Ryan Grigson, the general manager, came in, and that was a whole new, if you remember, that's a whole new regime. So that was Ryan Grigson, and that was different coaching staff and everybody, and they were just all complete imbeciles. They were all just morons and destroyed that team. And that was the difference. See, once Peyton was gone, everything was changed. So Jim Caldwell was gone. The general manager at the time was gone. I can't remember his name right now, but very famous guy. But he's gone. So that's what changed everything. So that was that whole new regime. So Ryan Dyer, 49ers chased Joe Montana out of town. Exactly. That too. Yeah, Israel. The owners probably don't care much about that. They don't. They're elitist. Okay, they think they're like the politicians and the people who own these corporations in the country. They think of us as scum. We're just scum to them. So they think of us on the same level as a cockroach that they hit with their shoe. Except that we're paying customers. That's really the only thing that. But even that at a certain level for them, even that doesn't even matter anymore. So. Stand Your Ground says hubris was the reason Butler didn't play. Exactly. Patriot King says sacrificing Tom Brady was Bill's dumbest decision. Yep. And you guys, it makes it easier for me to see if you do what Jalen's doing. So put at VonAllen, and then because it'll be bright orange, and I'll be able to see that. So. Yeah, Patriot King. So yeah, that's what I'm saying about the thing. My opinion about Tom, the roster would have been different had Tom been getting what he was asking for. The roster, things would have been different in 2017, 2018, and going into 2019 and 2020 would have been different. So we don't know what would have happened. All we know is what happened without Tom having any control and without Tom having bringing in those players. Remember, he also lost Gronk because of the way Bill was being. Gronk left, or he quit. So if Tom had more control over the offense, Gronk maybe doesn't do that. So, or Gronk would come back. Even for the Patriots. You also had Edelman out there, by himself, getting injured, getting lit up all the time because he was the only leader out there. And because there was a huge hole in the leadership category. You needed somebody to push the Patriot way on the offense. And you can't really rely on Matthew Slater and defensive players to move that along for the offense. It just doesn't work. It's a different group of guys. It's different mentality. So Edelman, Tom probably would have had someone else going to someone else, because Cam needed Edelman and Mac needed Edelman or would have needed him to keep going. So, and Edelman's all screwed up. So maybe that doesn't happen either. So see, everything changes. So that's kind of what I meant. Actually, Austin, as far as Bill, giving credit to Bill, it's not actually 49 that I would actually say is the better argument of Bill redeeming himself for Super Bowl 52 would actually be the Rams Super Bowl 53. That is what I would say he redeemed himself for, that 52 situation, because that game was 13-3. Okay, it was ludicrous that Julian Edelman was the MVP when they only put 13 points on the board. I don't care that he set records or whatever for receiving. They did not convert. They did not convert it. The MVP of that game should have been Stephon Gilmore, but that was a defensive game. So I think, if anything, you'd say he redeemed himself in Super Bowl 53. Yeah, Eric Rowe, man, was just bad. Although there was some... That Eagles Super Bowl was weird, man. You want a Rodgers versus Breeze video? I think Rodgers is probably better than Breeze. I think Rodgers would win that if I did it. If I put it side by side, I don't think Drew would fare very well against Aaron. Okay, yeah. I'm catching up here in the chat. So yeah, Austin mentioned the Rams Super Bowl. So yeah, exactly. I just think side by side, if you put Breeze and Aaron, I think Aaron's going to edge him out. And honestly, it's because of the 4 MVPs. I think that Drew's never won MVP. Although he got screwed over in one of the years, but I think that's where it's going to kill him. So bulk stats are bulk stats after a while. Like I told you guys on the last show, there's a certain level you pass and the bulk stats become meaningless, and you got to measure other things. And I think with Aaron, I think he would edge out when we talk about just year to year playoff appearances and all that stuff. So it'd be close. It'd be interesting, but I think Aaron would end up the winner, honestly. So Israel asked me, hey, Aaron, didn't you say that your father never forgave Belichick for benching Butler even though they won the Super Bowl the next year? That is absolutely true. I don't know if my dad is here tonight, but he will tell you he will not forgive Belichick. He still holds the grudge, and he still has never forgiven Bill for that. I've talked to him about it. I've told him, I was like, Dad, sorry. I told him, I said, Dad, Super Bowl 53 and all, I mean, don't you think that he kind of redeemed himself? And Dad's like, no. So, yeah, that is very true. Yeah, Austin, that's another good point. Austin says Breeze was in a system where he was in an efficient offense that was almost always playing from behind, so he could throw that thing all day. Drew Brees is the very definition of stat whoring. Okay, that was his game, stat whoring. That's just what it was. Him and Sean Payton just loved quarterback stats. But if the stats are pointless, if there's no conversion in a meaningful way, then I don't really care about your stats. But I think in the end I think Æron would end up winning. But I can still try it. I can still match them up together with the formula and see what happens. Yeah, Jalen, I think Jordan Love does look pretty good. Of course, last night with the Detroit Lions beating them in prime time, but he's not going to be a Hall of Famer. The consecutive streak of Hall of Fame quarterbacks and all that, I think that's over. But I think he's a serviceable quarterback. I think he'll be okay. So. In my opinion, Luke, the 2014 Patriots. Oh wait, let me. Is someone murdering a dog outside? Okay, Luke R. sends a Patreon super chat. He says, my thing is, I've looked into the more advanced numbers on the 2014 team. The offense was far, far better in the playoffs than the defense. So here's a hot take. Are you guys ready? Milena, you ready?
You're ready.
I'm going to give you a hot take right now.
3, 2, 1.
I think the 2014 Patriots are the best Patriots team ever. Boom! Boom! I just dropped a bomb. You guys like that? You like that shit? You like that? We need a Milena Sports Hour. Yeah, that's gonna go fun. That's she's gonna be like, "How you guys doing?" Yeah. Communism. Fuck communism. Communism sucks. How you guys doing? So, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So, do you want your own show? Death to the Opposition?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, Israel. It hasn't been attempted correctly. Yep. Okay, let me catch up here. Austin, what do you mean? You assume I would say the same about the Steelers? Because I'm kind of behind here, kind of remind me what you mean by that in reference to what? Jalen asked me, who ruined their chance at a Hall of Fame? more, Antonio Brown or Russell Wilson? Well, Russell Wilson, because he's not going to make it now. And Antonio Brown will make it. So, but they're probably going to give him the TO treatment where they make him wait for several years. Maybe not. I don't know. Antonio Brown's a piece of shit. A piece of shit person. It looks like we have a new person here. Giovanna Espinoza asked, "What do I think of Logan What did I think of Logan Mankins when he played for the Patriots?" I liked Logan. I liked Logan a lot. He was an asshole, okay, and people didn't like to play Logan, and I liked having him out there because if you're on the defense and you hit Tom, you know Logan is going to be there and fuck you up. So you would look out for, the defense would always be aware of Logan Mankins. He was a nasty player and hardcore, but he was also a selfish guy. He was all about his contract and all this stuff. And I'm not faulting him for that, but I'm just saying though that doesn't seem to work in the Patriots dynamic, for him. So I didn't want him to leave, but you got to remember we won the Super Bowl the year he left. So that 2014 was the year we didn't have him anymore. And that seemed like a controversial decision. But look what happened. So, but yeah, I like them though. That's weird that you just asked about Logan Mankins though. That's interesting. Aaron versus Peyton. Jalen, Peyton would win that. Peyton has come through more times, and Peyton has been on the winning end of defeating Tom Brady's Patriots a lot. So Peyton is 3-1 in AFC Championship games against Tom. Aaron has no such resume. So Aaron's only Super Bowl is against the Steelers, and the thing about the Steelers is that they never could win a Super Bowl or get to one when Tom Brady and the Patriots were in the way. So they could never do it. They could never. All of Pittsburgh's 3 Super Bowl appearances was when the Patriots were dealt with, like they were out or something happened. So 2005, okay, the Steelers finally break through. Why? Because Denver upsetted New England in the divisional round. So they didn't have to go through them. 2008, the Pittsburgh Steelers go to the Super Bowl. Why? Because Tom Brady is injured in week 1 of 2008 and doesn't play. So the Patriots are not even in the playoffs, and there's no Tom Brady. So they get through again. 2010, Patriots get upset in the divisional round against the Jets. Steelers break through there, and then they lose to the Packers. That Steelers team was basically the de facto good team when Peyton or Tom wasn't available for whatever reason. That was normally the case, But you saw what happened in 2016 when the Steelers actually had to come up against the Patriots. So they got absolutely demolished. They just got embarrassed. So, thoughts on Mac? What's up, Nash? Haven't seen you here in a while, man. Welcome back. Nash says, thoughts on Mac being called a dirty player, even though players do worse on week to week and are called tough. Mac is not a dirty player. No, listen, they're calling everybody a dirty player, all right, because everyone's pussies. And it's the same thing as now everyone's called racist for any little thing you say. Oh, you're a racist. Or you're sexist, or you're homophobic, Oh, now it's you're a dirty player, or you're a cheater. You're a cheater. Oh, you won too many Super Bowls. You're a cheater. It's like so quick to just call somebody something. People need to lighten up. It's just old football is all it is. It's not even that big of a deal. See? She agrees. I will say one thing about Drew, though, okay? Drew's Super Bowl victory, I think, is more valuable. So Drew Brees defeated Peyton's Colts, and that Colts team could have gone undefeated. They could have gone 16-0 that year. They pulled back after they went 13-0, I think. So they went ahead and started resting people and tried to prepare for the playoffs, which I always thought was a bad idea. I think you just keep playing. You keep the foot on the pedal. You don't let up. But they did that. But I think they could have gone 16-0 that year. The point is that was a great Colts team, and the Saints defeated them. And so I think that was a great victory for Drew. So I think Drew's one Super Bowl is holds more weight than Aaron's one Super Bowl. Let's see here. What's my thoughts on Patrick Mahomes being the new face? Patriot King asked me. Well, he deserves it. So he is the new face of the NFL. He's the number one quarterback in the league. He's the only one with multiple Super Bowls. In fact, I think he's the only one who's got multiple Super Bowl appearances, unless you count Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, whatever. But no, I think it's fine. I think he's earned it. So. So I'm trying to catch up here. I want to see the reaction. Oh, Christian Harper, what's up, man? He says, spicy take. So where's the cheap explosion? Yeah, I need to get one of those, right? I need to get some effects. I'm sick of players being friendly. Yeah, okay, Austin, yeah. So you were talking about with the Steelers are too good for a top draft pick, but good enough for playoff runs. Right. So people talk about, Tomlin not having a losing season until last year, but and all that. But did it help or hurt? Who knows? I don't believe in tanking, and I think that draft picks are overrated, massively overrated. I would much rather have proven players than some college kid that you just don't know about. But I know a lot of people think otherwise. So it's not like the other sports. Like in basketball, you can do that. You can tank and you can get a high draft pick, and he's probably going to be pretty good. But in football, it's way too random. Bitcoin Motorist says he doesn't think Antonio Brown is getting in. Interesting. Bitcoin, why do you think that? I mean, he has the stats, right? And he has all the qualifications one would need to get in as a wide receiver. So I can't stand the motherfucker, but that, again, my feelings don't really dictate the reality of it, but I'm sure, because you said it, I know that there's got to be some kind of technical reason for it. So I'm interested to hear what your thought is. Also, I'll see you tomorrow for the birthday party. My birthday party's tomorrow night. It's gonna be fun. Make sure you bring Ara. Yeah, he is mentally fucked up, Jalen, and that Vontaze Burfict hit may have been the turning point there. Patriot King, you think 2015 or 2016 Patriots are the best team? Wow, that's interesting. Nash Lawhan asked me, do I think if the 49ers didn't fall to public pressure and drafted Mac Jones, would they have won a championship and Brock Purdy wouldn't be a thing? I think they would have been a lot closer because I think Kyle Shanahan would have gotten more out of Mac. I think it would have been a different. I gave Trey Lance a bad grade, said, I'm sure you guys remember, some of you guys remember on the show, I was like, this is a terrible pick. Terrible pick. It's not going to work. But I to say that they would have won a Super Bowl with Mac, I don't know. It's all about right place, right time also. And Brock is in the right place at the right time. He's bought into Kyle Shanahan's system, and he's willing to do the things that's required of him. So that has a lot to do with it. The rise and fall of Malcolm Butler from champ to chump. Yeah, that's it. I really thought, he was just going to have he's going to take off, just his career was just going to take off. I thought Mike Tomlin had a losing season last year, or was it the year before? Man, maybe it was the year before. Maybe it was. Time's going by really fast. One of the years recently, I know that his record was broken, I think, like his streak or whatever. Okay, so Bitcoin says because Antonio Brown walked off during the game, that more than anything else. That's interesting. Edelman thinks it's the 2010 team. Okay, it's muted. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, just put them down. So, let me know when you're back so I can unmute it. So. That's weird, Jalen. I could have sworn that he had a losing season last year or the year before. Or maybe he came close. That's weird. Why did I think that? So 2014 Patriots, I think that's the best team that Tom's ever had. And the Patriots, of the Patriots era, it's the best team. I think the 2014 roster, the 2014 team, I think that team could beat any of the other teams. Because you've got to consider also that version of Brady is better than the version from the 2000s. Okay? There are a lot of years where I think Tom Brady's a better quarterback than he was in 2007. Although 2007 statistically is the best year a quarterback has ever had. Okay? It is, from every metric, it is the best. It's the number one. But that's just one aspect of it. But, I think Tom is a better quarterback in his 30s and after, or from 2010 to 2020, I think there are several years that you could pick in that time span that I think would be better. He would actually be a better quarterback than 2007. So it'd be interesting. To put him up, to put the 2014 up against the 2004 team. That would be really cool to see how the 2014 Tom Brady would play against the 2004 Patriots defense, like if they had to play each other, and how the 2004 Tom Brady would play against the 2014 defense that was much different. So that would be very interesting with Revis and Brandon Browner and Malcolm Butler and all those guys. So that would be kind of fun. You got remember that roster 2014, and at linebackers you've got Dante Hightower, Jamie Collins. You've got on the line you've got Chandler Jones. Okay, this team was just ridiculous. Go back and look at that roster. It is absolutely ridiculous. And how would the 04 defense handle Gronkowski? It would be cool. That would be very cool. So. Just looking up something real quick I'm curious about. That is so weird. Why did I think that? You know what? I think I know what it was. I think there was a point either last year or in 2021 where they had the Steelers were like on a trajectory to have a losing season, and then at the very end they flipped it, and that's probably where my confusion is. So that's weird though. Okay, interesting. Interesting. All right. So let's go to the games here. Okay, I just want to remind you guys, so if you are on the tier, the $10 tier on Patreon for the picks don't start until week 5. I mean, I make picks for fun here, but the picks I give on Patreon are researched picks. So it means I put a lot of work into it and research into it. They're not just random, me just, picking things. But that doesn't start till week 5 because week 1 through 4 is a crapshoot. Teams don't really know who they are, and you're kind of guessing. So week 5, that won't begin until week 5. Yeah, it's probably 22 where they started 2-6 and they were just awful, and then they just kind of, and at the end they got it. So that's interesting. Okay, it's probably what I was thinking. Okay, so first we have the heavy favorite. This is San Francisco versus the Cardinals. They're a 14-point favorite. Originally 14.5. I think that, well, like I always say, division games are weird. Division games, you can't count on them to be. To be just basically, oh, this team's better than this team. You've always got to account for, the weird situation there. So, but I don't think it's enough. I think the 49ers are just too good. Arizona beating Dallas last week was more about Dallas missing a lot of starters, and Dallas is just not the team that we all think they are yet. And I think the beginning of the year, I don't know, it was just the excitement of it was a little too premature. I'm not sure about them yet, so I'm not too impressed by that. I think 49ers are just going to dominate, so you can book that one there. Philadelphia versus the Washington Eyes Wide Shut party attendees. Philadelphia has a 9-point spread. I think that's a little too big. Philadelphia is good, but they've been playing way too close lately. As far as, over the course of a game, I've been keeping an eye on them, and there's some weaknesses there, and they need to tighten things down. I don't think that they're a 9-point favorite here, but that's what the betting pool says. So I'm still going Philly, but I don't think it's going to be a wipeout. I think it'll be a pretty good game. Chiefs versus Jets. This is pretty easy. 8.5-point favorite for the Chiefs at New York. It's not going to matter. The Chiefs are going to take that one. That's easy. I'm going to save Dallas, New England for last. So I'm going to skip that one. Chargers at Raiders. Another line that I disagree with the public. It's a 5-point favorite for the Chargers. I'd make them a 3-point favorite. Chargers at home is not necessarily a home game. I'm not picking them, but I'm saying that I would think that a 3-point favorite would probably be reasonable. Chargers. That stadium's going to be full of Raiders fans. Okay, Los Angeles is a Raiders town. I've got Raiders winning this game for the upset. Minnesota versus Carolina. Another pointless Carolina game and another pointless Vikings game. Does anyone give a shit about this game? Anybody? Does anybody? Like, basically, if this game wasn't played on Sunday, would anybody even notice? Would anyone notice? Would Vikings fans and Panthers fans notice? I don't think they would. So, God, I'm going Minnesota here, but who cares? All right. New Orleans versus Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Okay? The Buccaneers, right now, their record is a fluke. It's an absolute fluke. They've had some decent luck at the beginning of the year. So that's over with. The Saints are going to win that one. Denver versus Chicago. Okay, so this is literally the battle of shitty teams. These two, they might be the worst teams in the NFL right now. Okay, these two. This is like the shitty of the shittiest of the shitty. Okay, if Denver's going to get a game, okay, if they're going to win a game, it's got to be now. It has to be Chicago. It has to be. There's no way. Okay? There's no way that they can't win. If they don't win this game, it's over. It's done. Okay? This is the game that is for them. This is the game where they can finally get it together and actually get a win. And I'm going to have faith in them, and I'm going to say that Denver is going to win. Now, I got screwed over by them recently, a few weeks back, but it's got to be this one. It's got to be this one. Okay? If they don't get this, if they don't win this and they start 0-4, I won't pick them the rest of the year for anything. So, Jacksonville at home against Atlanta. Jacksonville. Detroit at Green Bay, which was last night. Actually, Detroit was a 2.5-point favorite. I almost went Detroit for my pool, and I should have. I regret not doing that. But I just want to say that the Lions look good, and Jared Goff looks good, man. And it's exactly turning out what I thought would happen this year. Last year I said they would be a good team. I'm not saying they're going to the Super Bowl or some stupid shit like that, okay? As far as I'm concerned, I think the 49ers and the Eagles are still the premier teams in the NFC. But I like what I'm seeing from Detroit. Pittsburgh at Houston. This is at Pittsburgh easily. So I would even probably give them a better spread than just 2.5. Buffalo versus Miami. So there's a great game right there. That's a good one. It shouldn't be at 10 a.m. Eastern. It should be at least 1 o'clock game, but it should have been a primetime game. So instead, you want to give us Seattle and New York Giants. Who gives a fuck? And The Colts at Rams, or Colts versus Rams, who gives a fuck? All right. Oh, hang on. Oh, I'm sorry. No. It's Chiefs and Jets on Sunday night. Okay, so that's not too bad. That would have been a great game had Æron not gotten injured. That would have been a huge game. So I just read that wrong. By the way, I just want to go back. The Jacksonville versus Atlanta. That must be overseas. So not that it will make a difference, but. So Buffalo versus Miami. So this is going to be a good game. Miami's had trouble with Buffalo lately, last few years. But I'm not sold on Miami. I know that they scored 70 points against Denver, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And although Miami's head coach looks like a serial killer, which I think is interesting. He does creep the hell out of me, but that has nothing to do with anything. I just wanted to say that. Buffalo is going to win. So I know the favorite, 2.5 point favorite, but I'm going Buffalo anyway. So there you have it. Cincinnati at Tennessee. The Bengals are not looking as great as we thought they would. Okay, they're looking kind of awkward, But I have no faith in the Tennessee Titans right now. There's nothing with them. So I'm going Bengals here. It's an easy pick. Cleveland versus Baltimore. Actually, here it goes. Addie, if you're watching or if you watch this later, Addie, I'm going Cleveland Browns. Cleveland to beat Baltimore. The old Baltimore Ravens used to be the Cleveland Browns. It's Battle of the Browns. Cleveland versus Cleveland here. I'm going Cleveland Browns for the victory at home versus the Baltimore Ravens. Seattle at New York Giants. That's the Monday night game. No, I'm kidding. Seattle. Okay. Seattle's going to win that. Done deal. Don't care that it's in New York. Doesn't matter. The Giants are awful. They just suck. So both New York teams suck. Maybe they should try starting some of those migrants that have come into New York City and kicked out the veterans from their homes, the nursing homes and stuff. Maybe they could find a good few players to play for them. So they both suck ass. Will I wear a Bucks jersey if they win on Sunday? I don't own a Bucks jersey, but I tell you what, if they win, I'll wear a Bucks hat. I've got a hat and I've got a shirt. So that my brother gave me when I went to the Bucks game in December for Christmas. So I'll wear those. Okay? Right, Bitcoin? Yeah, just guys, next time you see Mike McDaniel talk, okay, just watch him. That guy's creepy, okay? He's like serial killer creepy. He could be a serial killer. He's got that look on him. Why do I think the Ravens are always injured? Okay, so injuries are an interesting thing. So there's all kinds of possible reasons, but new guy for the Cardinals, and 3 different guys had injuries within a week. It was just from the exercises they were doing, and then so they changed it really quickly. So that could be a cause. We don't know what's going on in Baltimore on the inner workings. We don't know what. There's kind of no way to know at that level what they're doing, the details of what they're doing, and that may be the cause of it. It may be just negligence, a bad medical team, a bad regiment, exercise regiment. All that could be the cause of it. So sometimes it's just bad luck, but I don't know about that because there's other teams that don't have these problems. If you look at, Gronk was always injured in New England. One of the reasons, the thing that Gronk holds against Belichick is Gronk thinks that Belichick contributed to a lot of his injuries. And it was because of Belichick using Gronk in certain ways that weren't necessary, but mainly, this is Gronk's opinion, not mine, but mainly because of the workouts and how he would lift weights and do all those things. And so when Gronk switched to the TB12 method or tried to, that became a big issue. Now there's stupid moves like Belichick putting Gronk out there for an extra point. Why do you have the best tight end in football on the line for an extra point? Okay? And then he broke his arm. It's like, why would you do that? So we lose Gronk because of this stupid thing that happens. But he goes on the TB12 method. Then he goes to Tampa Bay, and he's healthy. He's happy. He's not having these problems and all this stuff. So people don't realize that there's a lot of contributing factors to how you approach things. And again, the TB12 method, obviously, it looks like it works because, Tom was always getting hit, and he was always okay. And you just come back, and I think more quarterbacks should do that. And more, I think if Aaron Rodgers was more pliable, if he might not have injured himself. So I just don't think Tom would have had that injury. Is my point. So, but it's not easy. The TB12 method is very difficult if you take it seriously. So poison. Should the Patriots trade for Higgins or Evans? Well, not Mike Evans. I mean, Evans frustrates me. You know that. I don't know. I like people with a killer instinct, and Mike Evans is too much like Michael Thomas to me, and it's I don't know. I just don't like that. Yeah, so Luke with Baltimore, so they may have a problem there behind the scenes. So okay. So that leaves us to New England versus Dallas. I originally picked Dallas for this, but over the last 2 days, I kind of thought about it more. I think the Patriots are going to win. Okay, and here's why. Dallas's run defense is not that good. Okay. I think they're going to try to Patriots are going to try to run Ezekiel Elliott, and not just Ezekiel Elliott, but the entire running back committee. They're going to run on them all day, and Mac's not going to have to do much. But when he does get his shots, I think they'll take advantage of it. I also think that Belichick's defense is not the kind that is compatible for Dak Prescott. I think Dak's going to have a rough time. I think he's going to have a bad day. And the Patriots are going to win this game. It's not going to be a finesse game. It's going to be kind of sloppy. It's going to be kind of slow and just, lethargic. But the Patriots are going to get the win here. So. Stand Your Ground says, I don't think Tom's TB12 dietary discipline factored into his longevity so much as his recovery and muscle pliability exercise has benefited him. Definitely on the field, yeah. So I don't know a whole lot about food and nutrition. I don't really, that's not something that I'm interested in really. So I agree with you, Stand Your Ground, that I don't, the food, I don't know if that really matters, but I mean, I'm sure it matters for like health and stuff, but actual not getting injured on the field, I don't know how much that would have to do with anything. But the recovery, definitely the recovery and the muscle exercises and all that, that is the thing, okay? And not just that, but the massages and things that you get done, and that's part of the recovery, of course. But all those things matter, and I think absolutely so. I'm not saying that the food and the diet doesn't work. I just don't know, okay? But I don't think it would, I don't see how it would have too much to do with it. But anybody who knows a lot about nutrition could probably answer that question. Yeah, Luke, I agree about Dak, but but this is a different year, and I don't see it. I don't like it. I don't think so. I think he's going to have a hard time Sunday. So we'll see. We'll come back on here and see if and see what happens. So I originally picked Dallas. My instincts were to go Dallas. So I mean, they're 6.5 point favorites versus New England. I just think that this is a Patriots type game. I think this is a game this is the type of game that the Patriots will win. All right, guys. I'm going to go and get off here because I know it's late for all of you. I wish Tom had joined the Cowboys back then. So that would have been amazing, and that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping that Tom would be a Cowboy back in 2020, but it didn't happen. And I think had he done that, I think they would have gone back to back. I think, honestly. So, yes, I do. And I still think the 2014 Patriots are the best team. I'm not getting any pushback from you guys. I was really hoping that was gonna have some effect. But, okay. Again, I just want to say it one more time. I know I sound like a broken record, but we need more people in the tournament. We don't have enough people in the tournament to have a prize that's even, let's go, guys. Come on. You can get an entry for $5. Just go to Patreon. Just do it. Patreon.com/VonAllen, or I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to kill you. You guys need to be connected to me in that way because the universe says so. No, I'm kidding. But no, we want to have a cool tournament. So go to patreon.com/VonAllen. $5 is the opening. Boom, that'll get you an entry, and as it goes up there. So, Nightwalker, what's up, man? Good night. Guten Nacht. Thank you, guys. Please click like on your way out. We have less likes than the actual. We had more viewers earlier than the likes, so make sure to click that button. Also, subscribers are going up a bit, so that's good news. So things are moving in the right direction. So thank you for being here with me, and we'll talk soon. Hopefully, the Patriots will have a victory over Dallas Cowboys. So thank you guys so much, and thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I really appreciate you guys. So good night.
Hi, this is tennis player Mariana Dragic, and you're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest sports analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
Flag on the play if you're not subscribed to VonAllen Sports. But once you are, we'll make it up to your team in the fourth quarter. You're watching VonAllen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now and join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go.
VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports.